Hello, Professor. I am Sungwon Son. From now on, I will present about my thought on the change. I think the video we watched at the end of Wednesday class showing well about the change, what I think. I think there are two types of change in people. The first is a huge change that completely changed the way of people live and think as they learn something they don't know. The second is a small change that happened when you think back to what you already know. As a student studying philosophy, this idea of mine is based on ideas of Plato and Aristotle in ancient Greece. Parmenides, the most famous scholar at the time, argued that change was only a fantasy and illusion. Plato and Aristotle rejected Parmenides' idea about the change, which was prevalent at the time, and argued that change was real and possible. Plato suggested two ways to change people. The first was the purification of the soul, and the second was to recall. First of all, Plato, who believed in the existence and reincarnation of the soul, thought that the change of the soul was the change of the people, and thought that the soul could experience the real world, idea, and we can change thought it. And about recalling, Plato thought it is a raw level of change that the purification of soul. Recalling is a way of realizing that any experience what we knew from its past life or world of idea, but now it has forgotten. The change through the purification the purification of soul is similar to the first change I mentioned earlier, the change of people in the real sense, and the recall is similar to the second change. Importantly, Plato thought that change through the purification of the soul could only be obtained from ourselves, whereas change through recall could be obtained through experience or learning from other people. I feel the same way. Furthermore, Aristotle, the student of Plato, deepened Platon's theory of two change. He divided the change into the change of the soul and the change of the rest. He argued that the change of the soul could not be obtained by other, only by myself, and change of the rest could be obtained by others. What I'm trying to say as it follows, I think there are two kinds of change. Internal change in people, complete change in people, that is first change, and the minor change in reminding people what they already know. The first change can only be made by oneself, but the second change can be made by others. So, I think from a management perspective, not philosophy perspective, management perspective, to bring about change in people, we need to stimulate the second change that make us bring out what we already know. It seems that continuous exposure of the same advertisement to people could be a way. For example, if you imprint a continuous advertisement that A product is the best in the field of B, people will unconsciously be interested in A product when purchasing product in the field of B. Or this method can be used in public advertisement. For example, to prevent people from committing suicide, it could be a solution if you show a video showing the suffering of those left behind who they already know well. Thank you for listening.